Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have a pretty cool video. I'll be reviewing Amcrest's new smart home security camera. This is the 4 megapixel Wi-Fi bullet camera and its model number ASH42-W. This was sent to me by Amcrest in exchange for my opinion about the product and feedback. And so I'll be showing you guys what comes in the box and what my experience is with it. All right, so let's get started. All right, so taking a look at the box here, I've already opened it up and kind of moved some things around. So I'll just walk through some of the things that it comes with. So this camera is both compatible with Wi-Fi and Ethernet. And because of that, it comes with this RJ45 Ethernet cable housing for weather protection. So that's kind of nice. They tossed that in there. It also comes with an Ethernet cord. So this is actually a Cat5 cable, I believe. Cat5e cable. So you can see that right here. Right, Cat5e. So that's kind of nice as well. If you want to use the Ethernet function, you have a cable provided for that. It comes with this power supply here. This is a 12 volt 1 amp power supply, plugs into a standard wall outlet, and here you have the connection that goes into the camera itself. Okay. Get rid of this plastic packaging here. Next, there's a few different pieces of paperwork that come with the camera. So here we have your standard security camera hole mounting template. So you can put this or stick this onto any surface that you'd like to install the camera on. So oftentimes this is like the side of a house, maybe on the siding, or maybe even like a tree or something that you would like to put the camera on. They just make it really convenient for you where you can peel this sticker off, stick it to the surface, and then drill these or use these holes as a guide for drilling the pilot holes where you'll put the screws in. And they actually do provide you with 3 mounting screws that you'll need to mount this camera. So they provide you with those, and they also actually include these anchors as well. So if you have like drywall or a softer material that you'll need to tap into to affix the camera to, you have all the hardware provided for that here. Very nice. Next we have some, I guess, warranty information, perhaps. So yeah, here we have a warranty certificate from Amcrest. So they're just informing us that we have an unlimited lifetime technical support and a limited domestic warranty. So as long as you register your camera here, it seems that we can get that warranty. So that's really nice of Amcrest. Next we have just an advertisement card for their premium cloud storage platform. I haven't tried this yet. Hopefully I'll get a chance to test that. But it's kind of nice that they have this available to you to be able to record any photos or videos on the cloud for later reference. Here's just the notifications stating that the device complies with the industry, the IC standard for communications, or the FC standard for communications, whether you're in the US or Canada. A quick start guide. So there's 3 steps, it seems, to set this up. Download and install the Amcrest Smart Home app. Create a Smart Home account and login, and then we should just be able to follow the instructions in the app to add the camera. We'll see how simple that is. We'll walk through the setup process together. And then they give us this little more detailed guide here. So I see, this is a quick setup guide. Okay, so very similar to this other one that came in the box. This get started guide. I guess here they just have some pictures that simulate what you might see on your device. So it seems like we just download the app, we scan the QR code on the bottom of the camera with the serial number, and then we choose a setup method. So we should, okay, Wi-Fi is recommended. So I guess it is capable with Ethernet and Wi-Fi, but they seem to recommend the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure why, but I will definitely try the Wi-Fi setup for my installation. And then last but not least, the camera itself. So here's the camera. It comes nicely packaged in the box. I'd say it probably weighs about a half a pound or so. It's not that heavy and it's not super light either. So definitely has a nice weight to it, nice build. So here we see a few things. It comes with this harness. This harness has both the RJ45 jack for your Ethernet connection, and it also has this DC 12 volt plug here for the power supply that you'll use to power the camera. On the back you have the 3-hole mounting plate that the template that I showed you earlier would help you drill the holes for. So those line up right there. We have a few adjustments that we can make. So there's a screw here. There's a Phillips head screw that we should be able to loosen and then be able to rotate the camera up or down to change the angle of the camera body depending on how we're installing it. So that's kind of nice. We also have an antenna here. I presume this is for the Wi-Fi connection. And this antenna also has this swivel mechanism here that allows you to orient the antenna to avoid any obstruction or to just improve your signal perhaps. Okay. Looking at the front of the camera here, we see that it has this little bit of a shadow shield. It's not that deep. It's a little bit shallow. It's not as deep as something you'd find on a DSLR, for example. I might say it's probably about 3 millimeters or so in depth. So we'll have to test it in the sunlight and in sunrise and sunset type of conditions, perhaps, to see how well the camera handles glare that this shield is supposed to help with. But overall, it looks pretty good. The lens looks nice and solid. And that's really all there is to it. So we'll go ahead and follow the instructions that we just read through. We'll download the app and we'll see if we can get this thing connected. Alrighty, so we're back here. I've gone ahead and plugged the camera into the wall. So you see I have this 12 volt power supply hooked up to the camera's harness. And there is in fact a green light that's turned on here on the front of the camera, indicating that the camera is currently receiving power from the wall. Just like the instructions stated, I'm going to cover this up just for privacy. There's a QR code down here. I've gone ahead and scanned that code into my Amcrest SmartHome app that I've just downloaded. And you can see here, there we go. You can see here that I have now scanned the camera and I'm given 2 different modes to pick from. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Wi-Fi setup. And it just says, make sure your device is plugged in, locate the indicator light on your device, and wait until the indicator light is blinking green, which means the hotspot Wi-Fi is ready. So it is blinking green. I'm going to go ahead and click next. Give some permissions here on my app. Okay, and then it says go to your Wi-Fi settings and connect to the device's hotspot. So I guess the camera is currently creating a hotspot and I'm supposed to connect to it through my phone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I do in fact see the network name for the camera, and I've gone ahead and connected to it. And then once you connect to the Wi-Fi network that's being transmitted from the camera, you'll be prompted to enter a device password in the recovery email. So this will be a chance that you have to secure your camera, and add an email address that you can reset your camera from in the event that you forget. All right. I'll go ahead and set that up. Once you enter that, it'll ask you which Wi-Fi network you'd like to connect to. So I'm just going to go ahead and set up my Wi-Fi network to the camera. So I'll go ahead and type in your Wi-Fi password and then hit connect on the app. All right, so here it says that the camera is going to be blinking and it will transition to a solid green light once it's done connecting. And it may take up to a minute. Okay, no, not yet. So now it's flashing red. Now it's flashing green. So we're supposed to wait until it turns a solid green color. Unless I type my password in wrong, that could be possible. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click start over. I think I may have just typed my password in incorrectly. So in this case, we're going to go back to your device's Wi-Fi settings. We're going to select the Wi-Fi network that has been created by the camera. And then we're going to return back to the Amcrest SmartHome app and sign back into our Wi-Fi network. So let's see if this one works. All right, so I'm going ahead and signing into my Wi-Fi network. And we'll see that the camera light has in fact now switched to a solid green light. So that indicates that our camera is now successfully connected to our Wi-Fi network. So that's great. Then we'll go ahead and click next. And here we have the chance to rename the camera. So the default name is Bullet Camera AA9C. You have a few preset options here like front door, storage room, and office. I'm just going to go ahead and click front door just to be safe, just to be simple. And we'll also have a chance to select the time zone for our camera. So this will be helpful for making recordings and having the timestamp on your video. I'm in the central US time zone, or actually I'm in the eastern US time zone. And so I'm going to go ahead and select the Eastern time zone. I think that was the only Eastern time zone that I saw. Eastern time, there we go. You can select this toggle button for daylight savings time to automatically kick in if you'd like. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this as my default time settings, just in the event that I get another Amcrest device and sign in to it with my account. This setting will already be the default setting. All right, then go ahead and click next. And here we can see that the camera has a really nice interface. It has a camera, check mark, and this button called the Start Live View. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click Start Live View. And let's see, we have a new firmware that's available. So yeah, of course, I'm going to update. I'm updating my firmware, and we're going to select, oh, my phone died. Not very good. I'm going to go ahead and charge it, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. I went ahead and started the firmware update that we were going to start before, and it's currently downloading from the cloud seems to be moving fairly quickly here. We're at 26%, 33%. So I don't think it'll take too long. Seems like we're just downloading a firmware update that fixed some issues that they claim occurred when using it, and it would show as a camera being offline when it wasn't. So figure might as well just do the update now to avoid any issues down the road. All right, so now the download is finished and it's going through this upgrading process here. 10, 20. 83%, 99%. All right, successfully updated, and the current version is the latest. So great, we have the latest firmware on our camera. And now we're loading the camera. So it seems to connect pretty quickly. I think it's going to load the live view for us. So I'll definitely show you what that looks like. Let's see if we can pick anything up just yet. So I don't see anything just yet on my phone. Maybe it's a glitch of some sort. So I'm trying to connect to the camera, but it doesn't seem to be moving any further than 99%. Not sure what's going on here. It seems like my app has frozen. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and close the app and restart it. That's definitely a little bit of an annoying feature. I have not encountered this before, so we'll see if this happens again. It's not something I would like as part of my user experience, but okay, so that seemed to work just fine. So I went ahead and restarted the app. For some reason, it was hanging. So I went ahead and restarted the app and then just reconnected to my camera. And here you see that there are some motion detection warnings that I'm getting because of the fact that I have motion detection enabled and it detected that there was some motion. So here we'll take a look at a few settings that we have access to. We have HD resolution or high quality. That should give us the 4 megapixel resolution that they're claiming. We also have standard resolution and high resolution. So here's the camera itself. I'm going to point it at myself. So here we're looking at myself, and I'm going to record. So, hello, I am recording a sample video on the Amcrest camera. This is a sample video test on the Amcrest camera. All right, so we went ahead and recorded that. There's quite a bit of a static here, so I'm going to move the camera back. Okay, I'm going to stop that. Sorry, that gets really annoying. The microphone actually seems to be somewhat decent. It does sound a little bit tinny. It is a small microphone that's in there. I think the microphone is located up top here. This little microphone slot right here. And so, given the size, I think the sound is actually pretty good compared to other cameras, but it still leaves a little bit to be desired. So I think if the sound is something that you really need to be crystal clear, I'm not sure that you're going to get that, but definitely more than sufficient for a surveillance camera, I would say. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and test this camera for about a week, and then I'm going to come back and report back on my final recommendations. Thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for my update in a few days. Thank you. All right, guys, so we're back. It's been about a week since I set up the camera at my house and started using it. Overall, I think I'm really satisfied with this camera. Early on, there were a few things that I had a few hesitations about. The setup was actually quite simple, but early on, if you recall, the app had crashed on me a few times. I didn't have that happen to me really anytime after the setup. I think it was just perhaps a glitch that occurred on my phone since it happened while I was doing the firmware upgrade. So I don't think that's something to worry about necessarily. Overall, the camera I think is actually a pretty solid camera. I haven't really had any issue with reliability of any sort as far as the connection goes. And the sound quality has actually been pretty good, I must say. I did say earlier that it did sound somewhat tinny, and I think that's still true. You're not going to get like really wide definition of sound. It favors the higher frequency spectrum, so meaning you don't really have as much bass, right? It just kind of sounds a little bit flat, but it's definitely clear. It's not crystal clear, but it is pretty clear, and I would say it's probably one of the clear microphones that you can find on a surveillance camera. At the price point that I got this camera for, which is about $60 US on Amazon, I think this is a really solid camera, especially because of the fact that it has both the Wi-Fi connection and it also has the RJ45 jack here for Ethernet applications. I think having that versatility is definitely a plus in my books for a camera of this type. The ease of use, the ease of configuration, the quality of the video feed and sound, I think for me make this a solid recommendation for anyone who's looking for a surveillance camera that's easy to set up and provides good sound and video quality to buy. Alright, so that is my review. If you'd like to buy this camera, I suggest that you go on Amazon, look up the Amcrest 2.8mm SmartHome camera 4 megapixel version to get yours today. Thank you.